How's everybody today? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish, ready for another fun endeavor on the vise with you all. And yep, it's nasty outside. It's raining. Some places it's snowing. So what better time to tie some flies and fill those boxes? So grab your vise, grab your tools. Let's have some fun. Get things started today in the vise. You can see this is a slightly different hook. This is the Montana Fly Company 3XL jig hook. So 60-degree jig hook, but it's 3XL, meaning 3-time long body. Super fun hook. We're going to tie a stonefly today, hence why I wanted that extra length in the shank there. So this time of year, temperatures are definitely dropping. Let me get some thread going, sorry. We do have a 6mm Spawn football bead in black. I've also got 8 wraps of 0.020 lead-free wire. And then after I cut, I simply roll those cut edges over with a curved scissor like so. And then we'll get some thread going and really lash down those weighted wire wraps so we get no movement in that bead. But let's talk about the weather for a second and the fishing conditions, if you will. So this time of year, it's nasty, it's cold, all that good stuff. Is there anything happening in the water? Yep, we're not seeing, nearly as many small bugs and all that, but guess what is there? Little black stoneflies. And in some of your areas, they get really tiny, down to 16s and 18s even. But when you'll see them when you're out in the river and there's maybe some snow on the banks, a little ice forming on the edges and all that, and you see these tiny little, they almost look like, exaggerated flying ants crawling around on the ice and the snow. Those are little stoneflies. Very, very important food source in the winter time. So that's enough yapping about why we're going to tie it. Let's get to this sucker. I want to keep it somewhat simple today, but still a nice sharp looking stonefly that's going to grab not only the attention of the fish, but maybe even the people that you fish with, even though that's not the important part. So here we've got a Chicone crusher leg, and this one it's just black clear. Love these legs, and whatever leg you have is probably going to work just fine. Any barred leg, grizzly leg, anything like that is great. So all I'm going to do is veil that one leg over my thread and then bring it up to the top. So it's stuck on there, even though I say top, we're going by the understanding that we're tying upside down on a jig shank. So all I'm going to do now is tie these back so that they kind of sit to the sides, not exactly running off the top of the shank. And take your time. You're just going to take a soft wrap, move them around, manipulate them a little bit, get them to split over there. And yeah, a little thread bump would help too, but we don't need anything crazy. Just need them to split off the end like so. I do want to maintain a somewhat even underbody here with my thread work. So I'm going to take an extra pass, a couple maybe, and really build up that thread underbody just so that it's even. That's all. And now you'll see why. We're going to do a wire abdomen for this fly today. And I'm going to use black Brassie wire from UTC. I'm going to cut a nice long piece, and then I'm going to fold that in half and cut it again. So I'm going to have 2 wires, albeit the same color. And for those that enjoy this fly and you want to just switch it over to a brown stone or gold stone, this is where you use a couple different colors of wire, and you'll have a naturally segmented body without doing much of anything. So it's going to tie both these wires in all the way back, cute as you please, to where they will touch those tails. Really, really wrap down well. And so let's talk about this body separation. So typical bug is going to have 2/3 of that body for the abdomen, and then this front 1/3 for the thorax. On a stonefly, it's a little bit different. Go ahead and split that bug half and half. So I'm going to bring these 2 wires up, but instead of stopping right at that halfway point with the wire, I'm going to run that wire all the way until it's touching my weighted wire wraps. This is a contest to see how many W's I can use in a conversation. and how many times I can say weighted wire wraps without falling all over myself. So again, keeping in mind, stoneflies have rather slim abdomens. I should probably watch, make sure some of these wraps are actually decent. Forgive me if they're not. I can't see to your side and trying to be somewhat speedy here on camera, but that's no excuse. So just get that little snug back if you need to on some of these wraps. And by all means, if you want to beef this up, go bigger, like a size 6, size 4, even outrageous big size 2. Great, no worries. Just go to a larger wire. So instead of Brassie, switch to medium. If you're going real big, by all means, search for that elusive large sized wire. You won't regret it. You'll build that body up a little quicker and just be a lot beefier. So keep that in mind. This is the exact size profile I'm looking for on these smaller stones. And I understand size 10, which is this hook is, it's pretty big. That's about as big as I'll go on these black stones, but it's a lot easier for everybody to see on camera. And so sometimes we'll tie it a little bit bigger than normal. All right, now we've got our tails already done. If I want, typically it's going to be a body length or shank length for that tail cut. I'm going to go a little bit less, just a tiny bit less. So after I cut those tails, there's our situation with that. So now we're looking at what is arguably the top side, even though it's the bottom of our hook shank. And now we're just going to build an abdomen. Again, try to keep it simple, nothing too crazy. Instead of going fully anatomically correct on this sucker, we're not tying a realistic fly. So for now, let's make it easy on ourselves. Let's imagine instead of 3 spacings for legs and sections, just 2. Well, all we have to do is get 2 legs in here. Well, we're going to do it the same way we did that first leg. I'm going to bring one of them up on top here. Just take a wrap, and now it's set. It's holding itself. And bring that off to the side on your side. Come down. Try to envision where that thorax is going to start. And then I'll bring my leg onto my side and do the same move, so it's on the side of the shank. So here we are. Let's flip this back over once again. So now let's get into the fun stuff. Back to the Coho Disco prop dub from Spawnfly Fish. And why am I using, a prop dub in a small nymph? Well, because it's got a lot of black in it. But once I've wrapped this a little bit and dubbed it onto my thread, and we start filling this in around the leg, you'll see what's going to happen is as this gets to the bottom of the river, bottom of the lake, wherever you're going to fish it, and it's moving around, be it because of the current or because it's tumbling, on the bottom of the river, it's going to flash all that little bits of goodness that we have in this Coho Disco, namely a lot of UV goodness. So I'm just going to take my time and work around these legs like so, and get behind them, couple wraps, come back in front of them, one behind again, come back in front, and now I've got a little wing section, right, without a wing. Well, how do we fix that? I got you. Let's go to some Flashabou accent. By all means, whatever flash you have handy, great. That's probably a good flash for this. Black is just something I want to keep it, fairly dark. It's a dark little black stonefly, but UV black, shiny black, standard black, whatever you have is great. And we're just going to take, I'll call this a healthy chunk. So let's say roughly 18 to 20 fibers. And this is going to be a fun little cheat wing that does give a little bit more attention. So all about triggers, many as you can fit into a fly. I'm probably that guy that's going to agree. So here we've got all those 18 to 20 pieces veiled over the thread. Gonna bring it right on top like so. It sits in front of our little dubbing bump that we have there. And so just gonna push down ever so slightly to get a little spread of that flash around, and then tie down up to where it meets that bump. Let me see what we've got here. And you can still manipulate a little bit if it's not directly on top. So keep that in mind. No need to freak out. Just pull, tug, snug, and make sure it's in place. And then we can come through with a couple more locking wraps. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and cut this thing. So I'm just going to I'm going to pull these at an angle and cut straight, which means it won't have an overall straight cut effect. But let's go for roughly that length. How about that for a wing case on a stonefly? So now you're going to have a little bit of dispersion, meaning you can see through that wing case, and you're going to be able to see into that dubbing thorax that we are building. So win-win in my book. Let's just repeat that whole deal. Grab one other leg here, and I'm going to just sort of envision this leg sitting in the middle of the space that we have left. Nothing to it. So if you tried to get all three, it's possible. Absolutely, you can do that. So let's talk real quick though. Fish IQ. Can the fish count the difference between the 2 and 3? Negative, Ghost Rider. They can't. They're busy. They're thinking about other things, namely food and protection, surviving. That's it. So they're not worried about counting. In the smaller, yes, little details can make all the difference. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't fight City Hall just to fit in a 3-legged section when a 2-legged section would work just as well, if not maybe better sometimes. Allow you to have more enjoyment on the vise and still put fish in the net. So make sure you're making the right things difficult for yourself. But again, that's for you. I like to make things difficult once in a while just because. That's not for everybody. But I'm a tinkerer. I'm going to give myself that official moniker, the tinkerer of flies. And just getting a bunch built up again behind these legs. Nothing crazy. No one's going to come in and measure this. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe you guys have encountered fly police. I have not. I've encountered lots of experts, which is great. Lots of wannabe experts, which is also great. But I have yet to run into fly police. So who knows? Someday. So just going to go back to that stack of flash that we used. I'm peeling 1/2 of it. Remember, we did double it. And so we'll do that same deal. I'm going to just veil that whole chunk right over my thread. And we'll bring all of it to the top at once. And this will create our second wing coming out of that thoracic section there in the front, like so. And now 1 wrap, 2. Just going to mash down a little. Make sure that's riding even both sides, meaning coverage on the top. Mash down just a little bit and get a couple of thread wraps right on top of that flash. There we go. Nothing to it. Bring it all up at once. Make a clean cut that's going to ride just shy of that first wing case. Boy, oh boy, that's pretty cute right there. There's your wing case, a nice little buggy thorax. We'll brush that out here momentarily. As far as these legs, I do want that first rear leg to go to the back of the body, like so. And mine got cut a little cute short. We'll just extend that next one out just past it a little. So forgive me. Don't comment. Say, man, that looks like a clinger nymph with those legs. I understand. It'll be okay. I'm just going to put a small smidgen, not a regular smidgen, but a small smidgen. There's a difference of dubbing right over this last front part here where we finish with that flash. Just really buggy up the rest of that little neck area, if you will. All right, time for that whip finish. What cute little stonefly. I don't know of any trout that's not going to gobble that right up. And one more. just for good measure. Yahtzee. Trim out that tag and the thread, cute as can be. And now let's put a little head cement on those thread wraps. And then we are pretty much done with this. A little stonefly. And this is something I will fish from pretty much beginning of December, or whenever that temperature really starts to drop and that water is getting cold, all the way through February into March sometimes. Depends on, again, that water temperature. But I can tell you this, any time of year, it's never a bad idea to have a couple little smaller, darker black stoneflies in your fly box. So don't wait till you need them. You know, we've got a lot of nasty weather out there right now. Enjoy a cup of coffee, hot cocoa, whatever it is that floats your boat. Grab on that vise and fill those fly boxes. So there you have it. We've got a pretty simple stonefly. And here, let's hit it with this light real quickly, and you can see why I'm incorporating a little bit of that Coho disco prop dub. It's so that nothing's boring when this gets down there into the depths. They don't have to search for it. They're going to know where it is. So there you have it, a little stonefly. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you had fun like I did with you guys, by all means, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we will see you all on the water.